Welcome to the deep dive. Let's talk about that feeling. I think we all know it. You've just spent hours, maybe days, perfecting your video, the lighting, the edits, the sound, everything. You finally hit upload on YouTube, grab that celebratory coffee, come back, and, well, it looks like it was filmed on, I don't know, a potato. That potato quality moment right after upload. It's a real gut punch for creators, for everyday users too, actually. So today, we're not just going to vent about it. We're going to figure it out. We're diving deep into why your videos look low quality right after uploading to YouTube and what you can actually do about it.
It really is such a common frustration, isn't it? You know, you've got this beautiful 4K video, crystal clear on your computer, and then the moment it's live, or seems live, it's playing back in like 360p. Blurry mess. So our mission today really is to unpack why that happens, what's going on under the hood, and then, crucially, give you some practical steps, things you can actually implement to make sure all that hard work looks as good online as it did in your editor. And yeah, our sources for this, they come from various creator forums, help guides, discussions, all focused on, navigating these kinds of technical headaches.
Okay, great. So let's start right there, behind the scenes. What is actually happening when we hit upload? You've got your file, it's high res, could be 1080p, could be 4K. You upload it, and then almost instantly you check it, and it looks like, well, 480p maybe even 360p. It can feel really disheartening. Is something broken? Is it a YouTube bug, or what gives?
Well, what's fascinating here, and maybe a little counterintuitive, is that it's not a bug at all. It's actually entirely by design. YouTube's whole system is built to process videos in lower quality versions first. And the main reason is really about speed and accessibility. They want to get something viewable up quickly, make it available on, different devices, different connection speeds as fast as possible. So think of that initial low quality version as just a placeholder, really. It's there while the good stuff, the higher resolutions, are still being processed in the background.
Right, okay. Speed and accessibility, that makes sense from YouTube's perspective. But for a creator,
Yeah.
especially if you're trying to time a launch or share something quickly, that initial low quality, it can feel like a real barrier.
Yeah.
Is there anything you can do about that wait time? Or are we just stuck waiting for YouTube's cue? Because sometimes you hear people say it takes hours, right? Maybe even a whole day for the HD or 4K to show up. What slows that down?
That's a really good question, and it leads directly into, the factors that influence that processing time. Basically, the higher the quality of your original upload, the longer that background processing is likely to take. So things like 4K resolution, definitely. Higher frame rates, think 60 frames per second instead of 30, that takes more work. And high byte rates, too. All of these demand, well, significantly more processing power from YouTube's end, more data to crunch.
Okay, you mentioned high byte rates there. For maybe someone listening who isn't super deep in the technical weeds, can you just quickly unpack what byte rate means in this context?
Sure, absolutely. Think of byte rate as the amount of data that's packed into each second of your video. So a higher byte rate generally means more data per second. This usually translates to better visual detail, richer colors, smoother motion, but it also means a larger file size, and crucially for this conversation, more data for YouTube to process. It's about information density, really.
Gotcha. And what kind of surprised me, digging through the materials, was it's not just resolution or frame rate or byte rate. The actual length of the video itself seems to play a huge part too. Can you talk about that?
Oh yeah, you're spot on. And it makes sense when you think about it, right? A quick, say, 2-minute clip, even if it's 4K, well, there's just less total data to process, so I might get through relatively quickly. But then you take maybe a 20-minute vlog, and it's in 4K. And it's at 60 frames per second. Now you're talking about a massive amount of data that can genuinely take hours, sometimes, half a day or more, for YouTube to fully process and make all those high-res options available everywhere. So for that epic travel montage, maybe upload it, go make dinner, maybe even sleep on it before you expect that pristine 4K playback.
Okay, so knowing all these factors, resolution, frame rate, byte rate, length, all the byte, what's the single most effective strategy? What can creators do right now to try and make sure their video looks good when people actually start watching it? Is it just about patience and planning?
Planning is definitely key. Probably the most practical tip is this. Upload your video well in advance of when you actually want it to go live. Use YouTube's scheduling feature. Set it to private or unlisted first, then schedule the public release for later, hours later, maybe even a day later if it's really high-res and long. This gives YouTube all that time it needs to do the background processing for 1080p, for 4K, for whatever you uploaded, Before your audience gets that notification or clicks that link, it helps you avoid that initial potato quality experience for viewers. For high quality content, it's almost essential, not just a nice to have.
That makes a ton of sense. Schedule it, let it bake. Okay, so let's say you've done that. You've uploaded, you've waited a reasonable amount of time. How do you actually check? How can you be sure that YouTube is finished and those higher qualities are ready?
Yeah, good question. It's pretty straightforward, actually. You just need to go to the video's watch page yourself, like you're a viewer. Then in the video player, find the little settings gear icon, usually bottom right. Click on that. Then look at the quality options in the menu that pops up. If you see 1080p or 4K or whatever your highest uploaded resolution was listed there as an option you can select, then you're good to go. It's processed. If you don't see it yet, maybe it only goes up to 480p or 720p. That's your signal. YouTube's still working on it. Just need a bit more patience.
Right. But, okay, what if you've been patient? Like
Yeah.
really patient. It's been hours. Maybe it's even been a full day. And you check that settings menu, and you're still stuck in low resolution. Still no 1080p, still no 4K option appearing. What then?
Okay, yeah. If a significant amount of time has passed, this raises a really important point. And it touches on a common misconception. YouTube cannot magically create quality that wasn't there to begin with. It can't upscale a low-resolution original file. So if the video file you uploaded, the one that came out of your editing software, was only, say, 720p, well, then it's never going to become 1080p or 4K on YouTube. It just can't invent pixels that weren't in the source. The platform can only work with the quality you actually provided. It's that old saying, right? Garbage in, garbage out, unfortunately.
Ah, okay. That is such a fundamental point, isn't it? It all comes back to the source. So the ultimate takeaway here, maybe the most important one, is you have to double check your export settings, your render settings, whatever your editing software calls it. Make sure you're actually exporting in the highest quality possible before you even upload to YouTube. Because if that source file isn't genuinely high res, then yeah, no amount of waiting is going to fix it on YouTube's end. You got to start with good material. Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. What does all this mean for you, the creator, or even just someone sharing a family video? First, maybe don't panic the second you upload if it looks a bit crunchy. Give YouTube some time. It's normal. Second, plan ahead. Upload early, especially for long videos or high-res stuff like 4K or 60 VPs. Use that scheduling feature. And maybe, most crucially, check your source file. Make absolutely sure you exported it in high resolution before uploading. Start strong. Does that cover it?
That covers it perfectly, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about understanding that journey, right? From your creative idea through editing and then onto the platform. It's not just about the art. It's also this little technical dance you have to do with platforms like YouTube. But understanding these back-end processes, why things look the way they do initially, how long things might take, it actually empowers you. It helps you make sure your audience sees your work the way you intended it, preserving all that effort.
Absolutely. So, maybe a final thought to leave everyone with. As we're all rushing around in this fast-paced digital world, constantly creating and consuming, how much are we implicitly paying this sort of patience tax when dealing with platforms? And maybe more interestingly, how much creative potential and reach do we unlock when we actually take the time to understand these seemingly small technical details? Something to think about.